imaginative visions. Welcome to center stage.
Welcome everyone to ImaginativeVisions.com. This is the center stage where we review stage plays, Broadway plays, pro shop plays. And today we have another pro shop review like we did with Hadestown. We are going to be talking about a show that I was really wanted to see, and I'm happy at least I get to see it in VI Pro Shot. We're going to be talking about Six the Musical, or at least in this case, Six the Musical Live. As always, I give you a brief synopsis. So, without further ado, here we go. And the synopsis reads as this: Six the Musical Live tells the story of six wives of Henry VIII. Henry VIII. Reimagining them as pop stars who reclaim their narratives from their infamous husband's shadow. And there's a reason why this was such a Tony Award winning show. I've always wanted to see this, and even just pro shot, I'm just happy that I got to experience this. And honestly, I think we need more of this. Not when it's running, but I mean like when it's like towards, when the original cast leaves, you bring them back and then they do like a kind of like a one more time type of thing with the pro shots. And I'm starting to like that because for me, for not everybody lives in the UK, not everybody lives in New York. So a lot of places you'll be surprised they do not have theater like this. They don't have that experience. So for me, the experience was just even though I was watching it on a screen, I still felt the energy, still felt the music, and speaking of that, let's talk about it. Like I said, I have always wanted to see what Six the Musical was all about for a while, and watching the live pro shot on big screen, at least I finally got that opportunity. And after seeing it, I completely understand why the musical has developed such a passionate following. And Six the Musical Live is still energetic, it's funny, it's creative, and it's packed with amazing performances. More importantly, it manages to find genuine emotion underneath all the colorful costumes, comedy, and those catchy pop songs. And the premise immediately worked for me because the six wives of Henry VIII have essentially formed a pop group, with each woman trying to prove that she had the worst experience being married to him. And it's a ridiculous concept on paper, but my God, the show completely commits to it. And what starts as a competition eventually becomes something much more meaningful as the queens begin questioning why their story should continue being defined by the man they marry. The premise, like I said, sounds crazy, but it so works with this, especially when you hear the type of songs, the performances. But all of this is honestly, it's nothing without the writing, the music, and of course, the brilliant cast. We have to talk about the OGs. The cast. Oh my God. Janaea Richard Noel as Catherine, Millie O'Connell as Anne, Natalie Paris as Jane, Alexia McIntosh as Anna, Amy Atkinson as Catherine, and Maya Cornish Bread as Catherine Parr. All bring completely different personalities to the stage, and even when one queen is performing, I found myself watching the others because their reactions and chemistry add to so much of the experience. Millie O'Connell immediately stood out to me as Anne. Her comedic timing is fantastic. And she has this wonderful, chaotic energy that makes almost every reaction funny. And Natalie Paris brings something completely different as Jane Seymour. Heart of Stone. Oh my God, gives the musical one of the most emotional moments and shows, oh my God, how early, oh my God, that six. I Heart of Stone, people. Look at me, I'm lost for words because that performance was so freaking good. And it just showed you that the six is more than comedy. Like it really hits some emotional beats with that song, man. Alexia McIntosh nearly steals the production as Anna. Get Down feels like the moment the theater turns into a full blown concert, and her confidence is infectious. Amy Atkinson as Katherine Howard surprised me the most, though. And All You Want to Do begins as this catchy pop number, but it gradually becomes increasingly uncomfortable as you realize what she's actually describing. And I thought the emotional transition was brilliantly handled. And then Maya Cornish Bread as Catherine Parr helps bring the entire message together. And I really like the realization that arguing over which queen suffered the most still allows Henry the Eighth to remain the center of their identities. And that is where the musical became more than a fun history lesson for me. Ultimately, it's about these women reclaiming their stories, identity, and deciding how they want to be remembered. And the music is another huge reason the production works so well. Like I said, Heart of Stone, Get Down, All You Want to Do, No Way, don't lose your head, and I don't need your love all have their own personalities while still feeling like they belong in the same show. I also love having the ladies in waiting visible on stage, keeping the musicians involved helps create the feeling that I'm watching an actual pop concert rather than a traditional musical. And as for the pro shot goes, I will say that the film does a good job preserving the stage production. I appreciate being able to see the facial expressions and smaller character moments that I might have missed sitting farther away in the theater. At the same time, like I said with Hadestown, it still gives, there's nothing like sitting in the actual theater and seeing the performance live. And at the same time, like I said, I still will encourage everybody if you get a chance to experience things in the theater, definitely go see it in the theater. But the pro shot here, I have to say, gives you a little bit more insight with facial expressions and what you can see a lot more when it comes to reactions of the character. That being said, in terms of the pro shot, and I don't want to make this like a comparison thing because obviously it's two different production stage production shows, theater shows. But the Hadestown pro shot, at least when in terms of the camera movement, it did it such in a way where we can really feel and be really immersed in what the performances are, and we see things that, like I said, you wouldn't see if you're all the way in the back or even up close. Certain things you might not be able to spot. Here with Six the Musical Live, the camera remains stationary and it doesn't really fully utilize the film aspect medium of it. And that's nothing that's not taken away because the show's freaking brilliant, guys. Like absolutely amazing. But the pro shot, I just felt like it could have been done a little bit more, maybe a little bit more movement, maybe a little bit more instead of like stationary shot. But I get it, you want to get everything, but in certain aspects, yes, you do get a little shaky cam from here and there, but I wanted a little bit more if you're gonna do it, at least give us a little bit more than the majority of us just kind of stationed into one particular shot. But otherwise than that, I really had no complaints with the pro shot. Like I said, I'm just happy I was able to experience the show because I wanted to see it. Obviously, I don't live in the UK, but I wanted to see that particular show. So at least I finally got a chance to experience. But gotta talk a little bit more, and then I'm gonna give you my spotlight scale. Despite my criticisms on how the pro shot was used, the stage itself is relatively simple. That didn't bother me. The queens are, they're just they make the show. The choreography, the costumes, the lighting, it's all on point. The pacing is excellent as well. You're only going to be in the theater. The show honestly is the show itself is 80 minutes, but the film is 90 minutes because they spend a lot of time on behind the scenes. At least in the beginning, like audience reactions, behind the scenes. Honestly, I felt that should have been cut and just get straight to the show. But I still, you gotta gotta pat it out, I guess. And I honestly let's bring up the spotlight scale because this show, I'm gonna give it a standing ovation. It's spectacular. If this is the only way you get a chance to experience the show with the originals, go see it. 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 Um, it was great. And despite my issues with the camera work, this still earns the highest rating on my spotlight scale. The performances, the music, the humor, the emotion, the infectious live energy easily outweighs the shortcomings of a pro shot. It's excellent. Go see it. It won awards for a reason. Definitely check this one out. And that's going to wrap up my review of Six, the musical live. I got to add that live there. And this is Justin from magicdivisions.com. Hopefully, I earned your subscription. So if I did, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I have more center stage coming soon. I have some interviews coming. I have a whole lot of content, as you can see on the channel. So stay tuned for all my retrospectives, lists, and things, that's reviews coming your way. Later days, my friends. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.